So I've been talking a lot about cheap miniatures, so I decided to do a video to show you how to make some nice, cheap, custom terrain bases for those miniatures, or pretty much any miniatures. What you're going to need is Oyumaru mold making stuff and Kneaditite green stuff. And what we're going to basically do is make some molds with the Oyumaru and press in some green stuff to make some textured bases. As you can see here, I've made a ton of different textured bases based on a bunch of different stuff, including, some terrain that I had, a bunch of coins and stuff. Both these are pretty cheap, which is a great thing, obviously, and they're both very easy to use. So I'm just doing a quick visual step. I'm going to start with the Oyumaru. You're going to put that in really hot water. I microwave my water for about 3 minutes to get it hot. You don't really want it boiling. And once the bars kind of are see-through, then you know they're kind of done. The only thing that you kind of need to do is you kind of need to push them down underneath the water to get them going. I'm going to try to do some bases on based on some coins. Oyumaru down there, and you smash the coin in there to make the little mold. And you're just going to leave that there until it cools. Or you can also kind of slide it off and put it in the fridge to make that faster. Now, I tried using this coin, but there wasn't... Getting the detail that fine on a base was actually kind of difficult. So that actually didn't work out, which is not a huge thing. So we're going to get your green stuff. Make sure your fingers are nice and wet and knead it until it's a uniform green color. And then what you're going to do is stick it onto one of the bases. So it's a little bit not quite hitting the edge. So basically, you're going to kind of smash it into the mold. And then you'll be left with an impression. And in this case, you can clearly see the thing didn't work out, but that's fine. You can just, if it doesn't work, just use another mold, smash it in there, and then you will have a different impression. No waste, no worry. In this case, I just did kind of a wooden base texture. So there you have it. I got 4 of these. Of course, this is green stuff. So if you want to do any modifying to this stuff, do it before it completely dries. This stuff, you have to pretty much leave it out overnight. So if you're going to do anything like adding little extra cracks and stuff, make sure you do it now. Here's another little hint. If you use just a little bit of green stuff, you can kind of get a partial little bit of texture on your base, which can be really good. So now that your bases have dried, you can paint them as normal. I'm going to use just a black and a little bit of dry brushing of gold metallic paint on this one to kind of make it look like it's a floor, like maybe in a dwarven ruin or something like that. And for the wood base, I'm just going to give it a flat coat of brown, and then do a little dry brushing, and then add a little bit of black wash to kind of tie the dry brush in with the base coat and kind of deepen the details a little bit. And there you have it. 2 bases that I can use for, any miniature. And with this technique, you can kind of just copy any kind of texture you can find. I know there's a lot of Kickstarters out there specifically for terrain detail. And those are interesting, but with the Oyumaru stuff, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. With the mold-making material coming from the great land of Japan, you can just make texture from any sort of texture that you have access to already. Your imagination is the only limit.